come on in. Take a chair. Whoa. I didn't want you, Joey. I wanted the Joey that this team voted captain. Not somebody who's off on his own half the time, bad-mouthing the rest of the team. But no, Joey, now that you're here, take a chair. Have a seat. Been meaning to have this conversation with you, Joey. Look, Joey, you're like the former guy right now. Sometimes I don't know what team you're playing on, Joey. Are you with us? Are you against us? You've been leaving us hanging a lot lately, Joey, and we've been losing some games because of you, and we need you to pick it up, Joey. Or we need you to pack your bags and get on your boat and head home. I mean, what's been going on, Joey? Did you get some coal in your stocking for Christmas? What's that? You got coal in more than your stocking? Well, that might explain a few things. But listen, Joey, I've been hearing you. You've been bad-mouthing us. You've been saying how if you went home and told your folks what was going on here, they'd roll their eyes. But you know what, Joey? I think if you went home and talked to your folks, they'd agree with a lot of what we're trying to do here, Joey. We want to be a winning team. And we'd love to be able to vote for you for Record Journal Athletes of the Week.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may happen to be tuning in. I am Brian Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal, and welcome to week 2 of the Record Journal Winter Athletes of the Week. As you can see, we're here, beautiful, scenic, bucolic location. Aaron's got icicles dangling from his ears, and I just wiped mine off. We want to be out in the great outdoors for our week 2 show. And hey, before we get started, we just wanted to welcome you to our send-up of Joe Manchin. I want you to be clear which Joey we were ranking on in our cold opening. We were going to do a sequel with the Kirsten Cinema version, but quite frankly, I don't think I can muster the sense of humor a second time. So let's just get on with it. Hey, we're off to a good start here in the winter season because the voting in week 1 was phenomenal. And you know, I kind of expected it. We had that Sheehan Lyman Hall thing there with hockey. And our winner, was it Max Festa? Was it Dylan Gay? Festa Gay? Who was it? It was from Lyman Hall, Mr. Dylan Gay. And I'll tell you what, it was a lot of votes for both kids. And it's kind of fitting that Dylan won just because on Saturday night he scored 2 more goals in Lyman Hall's 4-2 win at Watertown Pomperaug. And that gives Dylan 13 on the season. And he and the Trojans 7-1, ranking number 1 in the Division II points statewide. Sheehan's not too far behind at number 3. We look forward to their rematch at Northford Ice Pavilion. Right now, though, Dylan Gay was our winner for the boys for week number 1. And if I mutter and stumble, I'm going to be honest with you, it's about 2 degrees out here. And that accounts for it entirely. I'll do my best because our girls winner, she has a name that is alliterative and it's cold outside. Our winner from Maloney High School, Miss Bria Benigni. Say that 3 times fast on a cold day. And like Dylan Gay, a very appropriate winner, Bria Benigni. We nominated her when she broke Maloney's indoor record in the 1,000 meters. Well, heck, on Saturday night, same time, Dylan Gay scoring 2 goals for Lyman Hall. Bria's down at the Armory in New York City, breaking Maloney's 800-meter record, 224.89. And the record was held by Stephanie Peruta from 1999, one of Bob Dingwall's top runners from back in the day. Bria Benigni, Dylan Gay, nominated, they win, and they follow up their great week 1 accomplishments with more great stuff on Saturday night. Okay, now we can move on to week 2, and this is going to be, what should we make this, our snowshoeing edition, Aaron, our ice fishing edition? No, it is the basketball edition. We have 3 boys basketball nominees, 3 girls basketball nominees, and all had phenomenal weeks. Some of them I wanted to kind of hold in the bag a little bit because I know they're going to be strong week in and week out, but the stuff they did last week, they had to get out on the floor right now, so let's get after it. We're going to start with the boys. We're going to start over at the west side of Meriden. Mr. Makai Anderson gets in the books here. Makai Anderson, he's a sophomore, transferred in from Hamden. And, you know, he made a great debut for the Panthers against Bloomfield back in December. 22 points, 21 rebounds. Wrap your head around that, Aaron, on this cold, frigid day. 22 and 21. Well, you know, things a little up and down for Makai since then. Some good outings, some so-so outings. But last week, what a great week for Makai. Topped by a career-high 28 points against Bristol Eastern. He also had 16 in the week earlier against Lewis Mills. He's averaging about 16 points, and that's the sort of numbers he will take into Wednesday night's Platte Maloney game over at Maloney. If you're tuning in now, it's about 6 o'clock. That game starts at 6:45. Watch the show, then get over to Maloney for Platte Maloney boys basketball. Makai Anderson will be in action. He is boys nominee number 1 in week 2. Our second nominee, also from the west side of Meriden, just down the road a piece on Oregon Road. He is Wilcox Tech Jr., Mr. Griffin Nylander. Now, listen, for Wilcox this year, it's been rough sledding out of the gate. They're still looking for their first win, but man, Griffin's playing some good basketball, and last week, back-to-back 20-point performances. He had 20 against Lyman Hall. 2 nights later, 21 against Platte Tech. Like Makai Anderson, Griffin Nylander is also averaging about 16 points a game. He's getting after it. He's boys nominee number 2 in week 2. Our third nominee, I got to say, well, let me tell you who he is first. There's a little backstory here. He is from Southington High School, Mr. Aiden Buck, Junior Aiden Buck, and name probably sounds familiar if you're a reader of the Record Journal because his dad, Ron, does a lot of writing for us, and I like Ron a lot, and so much so that Aiden had to be like twice as good to get nominated because I'm thinking, you know, Ron, Aiden's playing good. You don't have to tell me that. He's playing really well, and I'd love to nominate him, but you write for me. So I was a little hesitant about nominating Aiden, but I'm like, why should Aiden suffer for his dad's great writing? He shouldn't have to suffer at all. Hey, here's the deal with Southington Blue Knights. They started 0-4. They had to play Donovan Clingan in BC right out of the gate. Then they had to go play at Windsor. I mean, my God, they started 0-4, but they've won 4 in a row, and Aiden has scored in double figures every single game. He's actually scored in double figures 6 straight games. He is averaging 10.6 points and 5.1 rebounds, and I know that because Steve Daniels sent me the stats, and Steve is never wrong. Aiden Buck, 10.6 points a game. He had a nice 12-point, 12-rebound double-double against Hartford Public in this 4-game win streak. Aiden, good to have you aboard. You are boys nominee number 3 here in week 2. Our girls nominees, Aaron, should we just go or take a little hot cocoa break? Aaron is frozen stiff back there. I'm going to just keep going, and then I'm going to thaw out Aaron when we're done here. Girls nominees, again, it's all basketball this week. Oh, it's so fun and exciting. We had Cheshire girls get back in action. My God, with COVID protocols, they were out for almost 3 weeks. Cheshire Rams, but they got back last week. Now, they lost to West Haven. West Haven's undefeated. Very good team. But then, the Cheshire girls, they beat Amity, and then they beat Sheehan, rivals Sheehan. They hadn't beaten them since 2016. And the girl made things happen. Of course, senior guard, Miss Grace Lurs, back in action, back with a vengeance against Amity. Hits 5 3-pointers, scores 25 points. She had 13 against Sheehan. She's averaging 17 points a game. She makes the Rams go. Grace Lurs, congratulations. Good to have you back aboard. Girls nominee number 1 in week 2. Our second and third girls nominees, they are both from Meriden. We're going to start over on the west side with this young lady, senior, Miss Christina Campbell. Now, you remember, you say, hey, Carpenter, you just had a Platte girls basketball player. And it's true. Antoinette Tan was nominated in week 1. Now, Antoinette and Christina are really the 1-2 combination down low for the Panthers. And, Christina, because I nominated Antoinette in week 1, I was like, I got to kind of hold off on her. But then she scored 57 points in 3 games last week. I'm not going to say no to Christina. Christina, I'm not going to say no to you. She had 18 points against Rocky Hill, 17 against Bristol Central, and 22 season high so far against Bristol Eastern. Now is the time for Miss Christina Campbell. Congratulations, you are girls nominee number 2 here in week 2. Third and final nominee. Hey, listen, this girl, you've heard about her a lot already. You're going to hear a lot about her more. Right now, she has to go in the books and be nominated for a performance that by far is the best we've had in girls basketball in a long, long time. Of course, she is from Maloney High School, junior forward, Miss Jaleese Rosario. Jaleese Rosario, all-stater who transferred in from Wilbur Cross. And the girl is just a double-double machine, night in and night out. She's averaging 24 points. Well, last Tuesday up at Tolland, triple-double, and a serious triple-double too. 34 points, 20 rebounds, 10 steals. And to be honest, she's like 8-9 steals a game too. What a player for Maloney. Now, we're filming this. It's Tuesday, and Maloney's hosting Enfield tonight, and that's a big game for them. Maloney goes in at 7-0. Be really interesting to see what happens in that game. For now, Jaleese Rosario, hey, you are girls nominee number 3 here in week 2. And Aaron, oh, geez, he really is frozen stiff. My poor friend Aaron Flom is frozen stiff back there. We've got about a couple days to get after with the voting. Again, we had great voting in week 1. Between now, it's about Wednesday, about 6, Sunday at midnight. Go online, myrecordjournal.com/athletes. Cast your vote for one of our 3 boys basketball players, 3 girls basketball players. We'll bring you the winner and a fresh set of candidates next week. By then, Aaron will be thawed out. My best to Aaron and my man, Shawnee Kid Crossick. My man, Ronnie Buck. His son named Buck is on the roster this week. Woohoo! It's quite a slate. Look forward to your voting totals. For now, I am Brian Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal. Thank you very much for tuning in. Be good.